I just thought, what? No, you don't agree, Dubs?
No, you're sitting at a Whitecaps round table with Jesper Sorensen and you're walking in with a different kit on. It just doesn't make
give
any
us
sense.
some context. Asa, give us some context. So sorry, everybody. Sharms is usually supposed to do this. Welcome to Footy Prime.
Yeah. Asa Rehman's. Sorry.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Good morning.
Leave us comments, all that good stuff. Craig's here, and Dubsy, and Wonger, and JC, and Jimmy's joining us shortly. I'm Sharms, and Asa Rehman is here. And we're talking about the Whitecaps end of regular season get together this past week, not the end of season locker clean out that TFC did. If you want to hear about that, make sure you listen to yesterday's podcast. Check out our socials. Lots of content dropping this next couple of days on that. But forget TFC. They're not important. It's about Vancouver right now and about who was wearing the Manchester United shirt, which has upset Dubs so much.
It would have been worse if it was Dallas.
Yeah,
some banter going back and forth.
Not an MLS team. Listen, yeah, Trevor wears what he wants, does what he wants, and he's the best at what he does. So I don't think anyone was going to say anything. Well respect when he walks in the room. He's often wearing his United stuff, especially after a big result. So it was not surprising.
Why do you get some side eye from Jesper? I don't.
Not for a second, Amy. Not for a second.
No side eye.
Okay. No. Now I feel like I have to introduce you guys. Next time you're in town, you'll meet Trevor. He'll probably tell you off for bringing this up at all.
Good. Bring it, Trevor.
No, I'm not going to say anything.
We know Footy Prime is actually sending us on the road to cover Vancouver every match throughout the playoffs. All right, Wonger?
Oh, yes. Our budget has exploded. So Asa, you were invited. We still don't know why you were at this table, but this was the Vancouver Whitecaps end of. I know we talked about it, but they actually served you food. Like food was free. Yeah. Correct. And you were sitting across the table from Axel Schuster, correct?
Correct. You're
and
nailing
Jesper
it.
Sorensen.
Wonger, this is great.
Pardon me?
Yeah,
I'm just making sure. So has any TFC or CF Montreal ever done this for our crew? An end of sit down, having a meal, like a playoff dinner meal. Have you ever done that with TFC or CF Montreal?
TFC feed you pretty well, in fairness.
I'm talking about an actual, you're at the table with them, because that's where Asa was.
Yeah, like I've had it with Canada Soccer.
It's not the same.
I mean, I haven't really covered TFC
not CF Montreal
for a long time.
Good buffet, but not that kind of exchange and that accessibility.
That's what I'm talking about.
The Whitecaps have been good about these. So they've done these in the past, and then there's another one that they did a couple years ago with Vanni Sartini at the start of the season. I don't know if you guys have we've gone over this before, but they invited us all and kind of had a chalk talk like session where he kind of explained the formations that they'd be using, how they try to utilize things, the kind of the system and the setup, which I thought was great as well. Really informative. As you're going into a season, you kind of know what you're looking for and what they're trying to do throughout that year. So yeah, the Whitecaps have been great about these, and yeah, food is always good too, right? Especially for attendance and turnout.
Do you remember the last failed season? When you say failed, like, when it was like more of a, head down, man, that was crap. We had to bounce back next year. What, 3 years ago, maybe? 4 years ago? Did they feed you the same quality of food at those get-togethers?
Gruel.
It was just pizza. There's a bowl of gruel and one spoon.
Please, sir, may I have another?
You don't get your meat unless you eat your pudding.
Forgotten here. I don't remember what was served.
Anyway, hey, Jimmy's here. Hey, Jimmy.
Hi, everyone.
Actually, you know what? I think I may have had a table when Ryan Nelson was coached. TFC may have done that, and they may have done it since. Just I haven't really covered the team as closely, but it was possibly with Ryan Nelson the last time I did it. It's been that long. Anyway, sorry, Asa. Vancouver. You guys are in the playoffs.
Yeah,
you're playing Dallas, the team that just smashed you on the weekend. Looking at the books, the betting lines here, and you guys are massive underdogs. No, you're not. No, you're not. You can win this thing, right? Best of 3, no problem.
Yeah, I think the big thing here is finishing the match with 11 players. The first game, or the last game on the weekend on decision day, was essentially ruined by the red card. You could talk about whether or not it was a red card, go into that debate, but not going to do that now. Just saying that, 11 minutes into the match, you're down a man. It was completely flipped from what we expected to see from the Vancouver Whitecaps in that game. Yet they managed to have the majority of possession, still create chances, still look like they were the better team, which I don't know if I've ever seen before. The fact that you played so much of that game down a man and still were the aggressor, it was remarkable to watch. But you could see in moments in this game that they were missing that extra piece. There were a few moments in particular where kind of went to Thomas Müller in a wide area, linking up with Ali Ahmed, and then there was supposed to be someone running ahead, and that person just wasn't there. Like they certainly missed that extra player, especially in transition moments. So looking forward to seeing them hopefully get through an entire game with 11 players on the pitch. And then I think if they have that, it should be a win for the Caps game one, and then see what things look like in game two.
Injury situation, where are you at? I mean, the last few weeks, it's been brutal. You found, you're not part of the team. You just cover the team. Sorry, they. So I'm not going to give you that credit.
Yeah, no,
you've had
nothing here.
You're no
Exactly.
reason for their success has Asa Rehman all over it. No. Injuries. How are they dealing with the injuries right now? Will they be healthy?
Yeah, thanks.
And not only that, he's
healthier.
not a very nice guy, Asa. He's not dependable.
No.
He's a horrible father, I've heard.
Yeah. Tell me more. Go on, guys. Dubs, you want to get any jabs?
I'm good. I'm good.
Nice intro, Sharms.
Yeah, exactly. Injuries, the team is getting healthier. That's the good news, is seeing Gauld involved in training. Obviously, we've seen him in games. He's one that I think he's going to be a player that comes in off the bench for much of these playoffs. I don't know if he'll get to that starting role in these playoffs. We just see that he has these moments where he's feeling that knee, like it's a deep kneecap bruise, whatever it is. It seems to have an effect at times. We saw it in the game at Orlando after the Nelson Pierre goal. He was kind of limping a bit. I've seen that at training as well. He always finishes the training, but he takes these moments where he's kind of limping a bit, and then it gets better. So that seems like kind of what we've seen from him, probably what he's going to deal with for the next little while. And then as far as Udrik Pupa, he was available for the first time, but because the game script got tossed and you're down a man, he didn't get into this game against FC Dallas. So could see Pupa in the playoffs in game one here against FC Dallas. He's getting a little bit better. And then the big names, Tristan Blackman, Brian White. Blackman, I think, is closer to returning than Brian White. Brian White is a tricky one where he's a striker with dealing with a hamstring. So, I think he'll keep working on it, keep getting better. And then I think a little bit concerned when you get into a game that you're going to have to go, and then there's no really holding back, and you don't want it to go again while in the playoffs, because I think the next time he feels it, he's probably done for the playoffs. So I anticipate he's, with this hamstring issue, going to be handled very carefully. I don't know if we'd see him in game one because it's a best of three series. So you try to obviously get through that. If you get game one and then you're going into game two, you have two more games to get one win. I think you're cautious there as well. After that, if you get through this best of three series, there's an international break. You're almost, you're giving yourself an extra month with Brian White. So I don't think we'll see him in this series, just based off of that. And I haven't heard anything, haven't seen anything, just kind of doing the math in my head. If you can get through FC Dallas without having that like must-win situation, down a goal or tied with 15 minutes left situation, you don't have to put him in. So then you've bought yourself some time there. And it might be similar with Tristan Blackman, although he is getting closer to returning, it seems like. Saw him more involved at the last training on Thursday than Brian White, as far as, in these like pretty intense possession drills. It was like 11v11 going back and forth, and he was included and getting stuck in there. So he looks like he's getting closer to a return. I don't know if we'll see him this weekend, though.
You see Alistair Johnston with Celtic, like if that's not a cautionary tale for jumping the gun on a hamstring injury, I don't know what is, right? So I think in general, you have the depth, you have the luxury, if you're the Whitecaps, to maybe allow some of these big guns that performed so well over the course of your season, no matter what competition you're talking about, just give them a rest, give them more time and rely upon the guys in front of you. I think they can do that.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. That's exactly right. And I always find with hamstring injuries, just watching the sport, covering the sport for so long, it's so hard for it to like fully heal within the season. And Jimmy, you probably know this and seen it over and over again too. It seems like they don't get enough time to really let it like rest and heal throughout a year, because you obviously are on this plan to get back into the game and contribute. Being a Chelsea sport, I don't know if you guys are aware, I follow Chelsea, and I would see Ian Robin would have this over and over again, where his hamstring was just never right. And if it was in a season, it was going to go, and you just kind of hope you get 2 games before he pulls it again. And it's just that type of injury. So yeah, you're right, Dubs. I think that they'll use caution with this going forward. And then, after this series, you're hoping there's 3 games left, right? Single elimination in the Western semifinal, Western final, MLS Cup.
Use better wins.
Is there any sense of the team and the squad feeling any pressure? Because obviously, if I'm Dallas, forget about the regular season. We're in the playoffs, and anything can happen. Throw all that out the window. Are Vancouver feeling any of that pressure, or you get the sense that guys like Müller and the experience of those guys are, keeping their feet on the ground and focus on this match, first one?
Yeah, Thomas Müller helps, no doubt. Like he just gives them a different level of confidence and a different perspective, understanding, wisdom. You see him in the games, Craig. I see him at training as well. There were moments where he pulled aside Ralph Priso and just kind of pointing things out, this, that, pulls over Sebastian Berhalter, points some things out. And it is like having a coach on the pitch, and not just the instruction, I guess, in that moment, but the belief that like these things need to happen in order for us to win. And he's had these statements, these moments in press conferences already in the short time he's been here, where he kind of calls out some things that I think gets the attention. He's talking to not just the media, not just the fans, but the players as well. And one thing that he mentioned is that, like, they have to be playing with the same urgency that they play with when they're down a goal late or they're chasing a game. And he says there are points throughout these games where they have spells where the urgency isn't there the same way. So I think that that's the sort of mentality that he brings, and that will obviously puts the pressure on in every moment. And you see that he plays with that high intensity at training as well. And then Jesper Sorensen kind of talked about that, like pressure is a privilege, right? Like the fact that you have pressure means that there's expectations, means that you're supposed to do well. And he feels like this team should be doing well. So I think that they're embracing it. We'll really see, Craig, when, they're in that single elimination game. So right now they have the benefit of these 3 game best of 3 series starting out at home. So I think confidence is pretty high, feeling pretty good. It'll really be tested. I think you really feel it when it is single game knockout.
I found this quote from Sebastian Berhalter interesting. He says, even just the matchup last year, we got LAFC again. This is going to be such a nightmare. We're just going to give it all we have. The mentality's flipped. We're going to go in there. We want to dominate. We're not going to sit back, and hopefully we just catch the team on the counterattack. I mean, it's a bit of an indictment on last season, actually.
Yeah.
And the mentality of that crew, who we thought was a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Who were almost beaten before they played LAFC, from that comment.
Yeah, and that's exactly what that team was, though. They were a team that was battling for playoff position, for a spot in the playoffs, really. And it's a team that they've been for, the years before that as well, just kind of fighting to get in, proving that they belong, and trying to get that knockout blow against really good teams, and showing at times that they could do it as well. That they could have these moments, have these games, have these wins against LAFC. But this is completely different. Just the attitude on the pitch, the way that they play. Go back to playing 80 plus minutes with 10 men and dominating possession. We would not have seen that with last year's team. And for most teams, honestly, like most teams, you go down or you're in these situations where you feel like you're a bit of the underdog. You like your chances to maybe steal a result, but it's off of the counter and it's playing perfectly. This team's wired differently. They want to keep the ball. They want to be on the front foot. They want to score goals. Set a club record scoring goals, club record for wins in an MLS season. They're flying right now, and most of it's because of the way they attack. They go after teams. They put the ball in the net. It reminded of the 7 goals against Philadelphia. Like, they've had these moments in the season where they're not really backing down to anyone and never coming out into a game looking to strictly hit off the counter.
Do you worry about the desperation, like to Forrest's point, what he alluded to about Dallas getting into the playoffs? Now, it's anybody's game, but I think over the course of a 3-game series, you have to give the edge to the Whitecaps. They're comfortable attacking a lower block, which is how you would expect Dallas to set up. They have a really hot goalkeeper, though.
Yeah.
So how do they approach it? And also, how vulnerable or how concerned are you about their vulnerabilities in their own box and defensively against a team who's going to be a little bit more cynical?
Yeah, I think that is a concern. I think that we've seen this now against a few opponents over the last month or so, where they will be very direct against the Vancouver Whitecaps, even leading up, even the red card. That was, if you're FC Dallas, you feel like it was earned. It was a quick hit, over the top, old school, long ball, 1v1 race. Sarver and Matías Laborda. And I think Sarver's pretty clever in the way he almost like lures him in and then touches it past him, draws the foul, gets the red card. Like, yeah, if the Whitecaps did it, I think you'd be crediting the effort and the aggressiveness to create that moment. And we've seen a few teams do this against the Vancouver Whitecaps, where you're going over the top really early and taking your chances. Even 2v3 or 2v2 in these situations and being ultra aggressive. So I do think that there's probably some concern there. If you're going to be beat, those moments do happen. So that's something they'll have to shore up defensively. Another thing that I thought the Caps are dealing with right now with the injuries to the back line is defending set pieces.
Yeah.
And saw the goal off the set piece as well. So there are some areas that they'd want to clean up, obviously, and be a little better at going into this series in particular, but right through the playoffs as well. And can't wait for Tristan Blackman, obviously, to get back to the starting lineup. And then Matías Laborda going to miss this game. They're going to miss him, obviously, especially on those set pieces defensively, but on the attacking end as well.
Did you think it was funny to hear Müller talk about the best of 3 series in this first round and then surprised that the rest of the games were single elimination?
Everything he says is funny. Like just living through this moment or watching it through his eyes is hilarious. Like, and he's enjoying all of it. He's like, oh, now we get to do this fun new thing that I've never done before in my life. I'm like, okay,
I'll probably be really great at it.
Yeah.
I loved how he was saying how that first goal he scored that was disallowed and how the stadium reacted. He's like, wow, I'm here. And that's like, you've had way more.
I was going to say that. He was like,
right?
He was blown away by the fact that there were 20,000+ screaming
and fireworks
when he scores a goal. And I was like, you've had these moments. What are we talking about here?
Thinking, I didn't think in Little Canada would have that. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe.
Because clearly he's been in bigger occasions than that before. Was that, Dubs?
I said that is not what he sounds like.
It's not far off.
But he German impression. That moment was emotional for him, and he felt something, which I thought was cool to hear, at least, because you're right, Sharman. I was like, you've been in way cooler moments than that, right? Where everyone's going nuts.
When you won a World Cup, Tom.
Yeah, it might be.
But maybe he's appreciating it. Yeah, maybe he's at that point where it's like everything here is cherry on top and gravy. So he's like, you're serving me gravy? This is amazing. Who doesn't love gravy?
Sounds
His
like the Friends
expectations are so
trifle
low.
with ground beef.
Yes. And meat.
All these layers.
Good.
Beef, good. Custard, good. But his enthusiasm never seems manufactured, right?
It's
Yeah.
It always seems very genuine.
Yeah.
Ace,
No,
the Whitecaps are getting their due on Footy Prime. Are they getting their due in Vancouver with the Canucks having started and the BC Lions of the CFL in the playoffs? Are they getting their media due? Meaning, are they highlighted on sports channels, on everything local out there?
yeah, good question. They are. They're
Because of
being
you and your
noticed.
signage.
Yeah,
With
exactly.
the wavy
Hashtag
gas
pack the place.
station.
Everyone, everywhere I go, everyone's like hashtag pack the place. No, but they are getting recognized. But you are seeing that, like, it is still Canucks first, and that's another thing that Berhalter and Thomas Müller mentioned. Berhalter mentioned in particular 2 years ago, Canucks go on a playoff run, and that's all anyone is talking about. You see the car flags and all the rest. We're not there. It's hard to say we're even close with the Vancouver Whitecaps. See a lot of Whitecaps bumper stickers, and I think that's the best comparison I can make. Like, for the Whitecaps right now, it's a bumper sticker. For the Canucks, it's very much a car flag. You know, like, it's a little louder on the Canucks side, and I don't know if that ever changes. But yeah, I think Muller and Berhalter mentioned this. Like, it'd be nice to see that change or get closer to that, and have to get through this first round, and then a win in the next round. Then I think you can start to maybe generate that buzz and be closer to that. But right now, it's just kind of bubbling, and it's sort of, the Whitecaps fan is loving it. The soccer fan is loving it, and is more aware than they might have been in the past. And I differentiate those two because I think that it's the most played sport in BC here, but I think there's still been a bit of a disconnect between, like, the Whitecaps fan and just the people that enjoy the sport, play the sport, watch the sport. They might be watching Manchester United and wearing their zip up to fancy dinners and stuff. But, you know, the Whitecap stuff, I think, is getting a little bit more, or is bleeding into that crowd a little bit more, and they're actually talking about it and enjoying it. So when you're playing, like, pick up with the old guys who would usually be talking about Juventus and Inter Milan, they're mentioning that Ryan Alumi looked really cool as this young player who's scored this amazing goal. And did you see Thomas Müller play it to Ali Ahmed? Like, they're talking about that more, and that's happening more than I think I would have seen before. But now, and then the next stage, I guess, is the Canucks fan, the Blue Jays fan here as well. Like, they're all over this, and I don't know if it's reached that market yet, if that makes any sense.
Have they done the old Thomas Müller at a Canucks game, camera shot, stand up?
Oh, yeah. That was standard.
It's been done.
He said a couple, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
soccer player. I think it was soccer.
That's right.
Player
Yeah. Thomas Müller, soccer player. That's
yeah,
good.
you're like, what?
Was that what it was?
Not wrong.
Yeah.
It's not wrong.
No, it's not.
Not
Who
wrong.
is that? He's a soccer player. Oh, okay. Soccer
I loved
player.
it when the socials showed him exchanging jerseys with Leon Draisaitl,
Yeah.
a fellow German, and just the difference in proportions. Like Müller is very lithe and wiry, yes, and strong, but, like, he's slim, right? He's like a classic soccer player. And then Draisaitl's got the giant shit locker and just a huge frame, and right, like hockey players and their asses. Like, when you see a hockey player walk, you're like, that's a hockey player.
Is
And
that why
just
you married JP?
You just wanted to bring that up, right? This is all.
That's right. Good ass on my husband and other hockey players. But just like the contrast between the two of them was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I didn't
Dubs
notice it
did
to
ask,
the degree
man.
that you
We
did,
figured
Dubs,
it out.
but
Ask, man.
yeah.
They're opening
Be
up
looking at
top
their
row,
asses
right?
next time.
Yeah.
25,000 going to be sold already, I think, right, to the game. That was yesterday.
Yes,
So I'm sure it's
Upper
more now.
Bowl's opened up. I think they're hovering around 30,000 now. And then once you get the message out to all the Footy Prime faithful, I'm sure we'll hit 35, 40,000. So, yeah. Everyone who's listening, watching, buy a ticket. It should be a good crowd. Upper Bowl is open. I'm anticipating great atmosphere there.
Please beep at Asa when he's on the side of the road. doing his flags,
Yeah.
waving the sign. You know that sign when they spin the sign? You're getting really good at that.
Yeah,
Thank
with
you.
his sandwich board.
That's right.